I'm Carl Friedman. I'm the editor of Gaming America. And today we're joined with Anna Sainsbury. She's the chairman and co-founder of fraud prevention and cybersecurity company GeoComply. And Anna, welcome to the huddle.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can you just start by describing the threat landscape and how it's evolving, especially with sports betting gaining steam in the States, and how you're able to keep pace with it? What are the most pressing issues that you're facing at GeoComply right now?
Sure, yeah. We're so fortunate in our industry to have such tremendous growth across all markets, really, and so many new markets opening up. But what we have really seen when we look at the location data is that more states that are considering a bill or looking into what the possibilities are in terms of holding our industry accountable to different compliance requirements is that there's still a lot of consideration around location compliance and ensuring that bets are not placed outside of the state, which is looking at legalizing gaming. So we do spend a lot of our time looking at new ways that users are mitigating different geolocation barriers as the industry and just general people on the internet are gaining more of an understanding on how to manipulate their location data, because they're streaming a lot of television content as the primary kind of educator for the general population on how to get around geolocation. So we always spend a lot of time looking at that and making sure we are well ahead of the trends and well ahead of fraudsters so that we have that compliance grade solution. But then we also sink our teeth into other areas of fraud where we can see collusion or stolen identity or anything that really goes into money laundering and account sharing and stolen credit cards. So we really look at all of the data and all of the transactions and what can we expect and how can we work more with the different platform providers as well as the operators to make sure we are identifying fraud before it becomes a problem. And so that's been really interesting, especially as there's a lot of marketing out there. I mean, there's a lot of new markets, people that are potentially in the past placing sports wagers outside of the US. So Americans that might have been playing with operators located in the Caribbean or elsewhere around the globe are coming to our markets. And we're also seeing so many amazing bonuses that are being marketed. And that obviously attracts a group that might be more interested in bonus abuse. So we work a lot with our clients, regulators, and platforms to ensure that that is not going to be a problem in our industry. So it's been really an interesting time for our fraud and analytics team.
Yeah, a lot of variables to keep on top of. Despite threats coming from so many different sources and angles, are you still encouraged by the momentum building and the appetite increasing for sports betting in the US?
Yeah, I mean, I think the US is this amazing platform for us all to look at. Even though we have mature markets, the expectations of what we can do are, I would say, at the highest tier in the US that we've seen so far. And the regulators are really interested in the weeds, and they are looking at the data and they're working with us to see what we can do better to create that robustness that this market needs, because there has been a lot of scrutiny in the past. And so I think that everybody is really working together where they can to see what we can do better, and not just to say, well, status quo is this. Even in other industries, like, I mean, there's a lot of fraud in airline ticket sales, and in some markets, it's just seen as a cost of doing business. But in our market, we're saying, no, we can do better. We can take accountability for this and come back with something more. And I mean, what we already see in the geolocation space is that other industries are taking the improvements that the gaming industry has brought and are looking to transfer, those data insights and improvements in fraud into their sectors. So I think that that's a great thing to see.
Right. So it's used as an example to go by. And so it's not built into the business model. That's really smart. GeoComply is a serial winner or for responsible business at the Global Gaming Awards. Can you describe your holistic approach to management and leadership that's enabled the company to be recognized not only as a leader in CSR, but as a model for other companies to follow?
I mean, first of all, thank you. It means so much for us to be even known for this. I think it really is a driver for not just myself, but our entire team. I mean, people want to work at a company, not just to make a paycheck these days. It's about like, how are we all contributing to something bigger than ourselves? And if we can do that and get paid and develop interesting technology, I mean, I feel like that's kind of a home run for time well spent, 9 to 5. And you know, we've really focused on that. Like, you know, where can we do better, and what are areas that are kind of underfunded or maybe don't get the attention, especially in growth markets, which is really where we spend our time and attention. So it's been really wonderful to sink our teeth into, you know, especially use cases like responsible gaming, because we want to give back to the people that participate in our industry, those players that are attracted to what we have to offer, but to also give that support and helping hand to those that might have had some detrimental effects from the industry. So that has been really interesting to work on. And I think that there's so much more technology can do these days to really help not only support people that are already downstream of having some effects, but to actually help people before, because now we have this bigger player pool that we really want to nurture. I mean, there are players, there are clients, there are people that we need in order to be successful. And so I think that, I mean, as we really hone our skill as an industry, I think a lot of operators and forward-thinking platform providers and regulators are saying, yes, we need to focus on this. And so, you know, we want to really bring to that conversation, what can technology do, and how can we, you know, facilitate an ease of RG and responsible gaming, and you know, how can we make this less of a hurdle for both the person that is looking to potentially self-exclude, but also to support the operators to bring something better. So it's been really fulfilling for our team, and we have also had the pleasure of really getting exposed into other sectors where our technology can be insightful, and it's been really fulfilling for our team, and definitely something that keeps our team with us and engaged.
Yeah, right. And how important has it been to really lead by example, especially considering the year that we've just experienced with the pandemic?
I mean, I think that's almost everything in every year. I mean, being true to your word is always really important, especially if you want your team and your clients and even our customers to be that, right? I mean, there has to be an authenticity these days. And I do feel like if you're doing something for the wrong reasons, it's generally not going to be successful in the long term. I mean, you might get some momentum at the beginning, but you're not really going to arrive anywhere. So to us, it is really the most important thing, and it is the biggest thing that we look for as we recruit in our team. Someone that has that drive, that activist within them that wants something better, and that we're not just turning the pages of a book to hopefully get to the ending one day. So it means a lot to us.
Right. So having that disruptive kind of quality in a sense. And so I'm just kind of building on that. It's very important to have, you know, a very grounded team surrounding you in order to navigate those kind of unprecedented disruption and uncertainty.
Yeah, I think, you know, grounded is definitely required. I think that the other thing that we really look for is someone that's looking ahead, right? So you know, there's so many opportunities for technology,
Exactly.
but if you're able to say, okay, if this is a success and we do achieve these numbers in our industry, and all these brands want to go in and we're marketing and we're achieving the numbers that were expected of us, what are going to be the positive and negative consequences of that, and what can we do to mitigate that now? Because I think anyone that's developed technology today, they know that, you have to plan for it. It's not like you can just come out or realize there's a problem, realize there's a technical solution, and bam, it's there. It takes thought, it takes time, it takes development, it takes testing. And especially in our industry where there is that level of compliance and accuracy, and we can't just push out releases all the time, we really look to be thoughtful and forward thinking. And I think that's really what we look for in our team. We want to be 10 steps ahead in our thinking, and really working out what those problems could be that would arise.
Right. Just expounding on your place at GeoComply and your leadership role, can you pinpoint or describe a real pivotal experience in your career that you can draw a direct line from where you are today?
Yeah, I look back at really I would say these days I feel like an activist inside. I spend a lot of my time working on the conversation of human trafficking and child exploitation, and what can regulations do to mitigate, that negative consequence of the internet, which is such a positive thing for so many and for our daily lives. And, I think that it is just looking, I had a lot of people around me and was always attracted to that underdog. Yeah. And what makes something an underdog or somebody an underdog, and what can we do better to support them? And I have been that myself. I have struggled, especially in my youth, with depression, and have felt that lack of support. Mm-hmm. But I ultimately know it's that community around you that gives you something to lean on, when you need it. And so I think kind of knowing that in myself, I didn't really have anything super terrible happen to me, which I'm grateful for, but I am aware of how much everybody does need support, and that we always have to look out for someone that could have some negative effects from anything. And with anything that is positive or experiencing growth, there is always something or someone who might not receive all of the benefits we hope. So that has really drawn me to this place that I'm at now. And it's so fulfilling that I feel like once you start, and once you meet other people that find these other problems that are underfunded, it's self-fulfilling, and I feel like it grows, and it's an interesting area to really look for. There's an abundance of issues in our world and abundance of wonderful things. So it keeps us busy and keeps us thinking.
Yeah, it does indeed take a village, doesn't it?
It does.
And how would you summarize GeoComply's place in what UNLV's International Center for Gaming Regulation calls the gaming ecosystem?
Well, first of all, we're very thankful that we have thought leadership at UNLV, and I think Bo especially has been a great contributor to sending out the message, especially in the US market, to really what gaming brings to the US and to people, and of course to the city of Vegas. For us just to even have our name considered as a contributor to the ecosystem, and to really being there as something that not only enables a comfort level within the regulators, but also gives that protection to operators and platform providers. It's an honor for us. It's something that we take very seriously within our company, and that we really work to make sure we don't let anyone down, and that we can really fulfill those needs as they come up, and that hopefully we will also be thinking 10 steps ahead with them and planning for the future, which this market is obviously very exciting, and there's a lot of talk about our growth and how many new markets will be coming up. But as we think about that as an industry, it's so important to look at how can we scale all of our solutions and our teams and technologies to meet these market demands, and how can we do that and also improve what we're doing. So I mean, it's a big ask, and I think that there's a lot of really interesting people in the space right now that are providing thought leadership and making sure we, not just meet but exceed the demands of what regulators and what the players are looking for from our industry.
Right. It all sounds very encouraging. Yeah, and Anna, thank you so much for your time. And we hope to catch up with you soon again.
Perfect. Thank you.
All the best.